The very, very, very last part we need to physically drive this car we have acquired. I'm excited that we finally got a CV axle, and today we're gonna install the CV axle. All these parts sitting right down here are gonna go back on the car. We're gonna put some wheels on it, and I'm gonna drive it at least 10 inches. That's all I want. Brakes are bled, clutch is bled, engine oil's topped off, trans is topped off. Let's go ahead, slap in some coolant. Well, I'm just gonna do water for now, just in case we have a leak. Water's way easier to deal with. And then I'm gonna slap on the wheels. We gotta fix this one tire that's half-assed debeaded for some odd reason. So we gotta get that seated, throw on the wheels, and we are going on the first drive, provided it moves. Gotta remember, I rebuilt the trans. I probably put it together backwards, so it might go reverse instead of forward. Alrighty, let's do this thing. Hopefully it drives. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. Oh, should probably connect that. We can do that later. That don't sound right. It sounds like it's mistimed or something. Interesting. All right, let's see what codes this motor's throwing. MAF sensor code, PCM codes. I'm gonna clear. All right, let's shut this thing off. This thing sounds not okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear the system, rescan it, start it, and see what happens. So with the car completely together, I did a quick erase. We went from 36 codes down to 6 codes total. 2 for engine PGM, 2 for ABS, 2 for body electrical. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what we got. On the engine, so the ECU is telling us we have a code. Let's see here. They're the same code, so one's permanent, one's temporary. FCAN multifunction PCM ACC multi-purpose camera unit. Okay. That doesn't sound important right now. There's probably bigger things to deal with. ABS system. Let's go check this out. Now we may throw some more codes when we fire the car up again. Something's going on with the motor though, as you guys can hear. It's all over the place. All right, same code, U0104, permanent and temporary. If this car only has that code, I'm gonna be impressed. I don't think that's possible though. Yeah, it's throwing the same code in all systems. So I'm gonna go ahead, fire it up, and see what happens. To me right now it's like choking up on itself. So it kind of sounds like a massive vacuum leak somewhere in the system. So I'm gonna run through real quick, double check we got everything installed. All the intercooler piping's on. There's gotta be something serious going on because she's hardly wanting to run on her own. So I went ahead and knocked out a smoke test on the car. The only leak we have is a tiny bit on the intake manifold where we had to do that sealant, a little patch job, while we wait for a new intake manifold to come in. So that's leaking a tiny bit. That is not nearly big enough of a leak to make this car run as terrible as it's running. To me, it honestly does sound like it's off on timing. Something weird is going on. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the valve cover off. I'm gonna pull the plugs. I'm gonna check timing. I'm gonna check the plugs, check coils, check everything because massive misfires going on, and overall just sounds like complete, for lack of a better word, it sounds like shit. It is what it is. We'll fix it. So I have the timing cover off right now. Timing is spot on from what it looks like. So those two lines right there, one there and one there, those are supposed to line up horizontally from what I understand. And then there is the mark that you line up the crankshaft with. It's kind of difficult to see, but timing appears that it's spot on. Just spoke to Mr. Tuner Bader on the phone. He said, put it back together, fire it up, unplug the MAF, see if that changes anything. If that allows it to run better, then we know it's like a air leak related issue. And if it still runs like shit, then do a compression test. Possible that it could have possibly bent a rod somehow in the accident, because it was a very severe accident, as you guys can remember. But here's the plugs. They are straight up black, and it's just dumping black smoke out the exhaust when it's running. So it's running very, 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 very rich for some reason. Let's go throw it back together and do a little bit more diagnosing and see what we can figure out. So it seems to me that our intake manifold leak is a little bit bigger than I think. It wasn't smoking all that much, but there could be like some internal stuff in the intake manifold that is also cracked. We know the intake manifold is already a problem, so I don't feel like continuing to diagnose the car. As you guys heard, I apologize for my raspy voice. I'm a little sick right now, but as you guys heard, it runs a lot better with the MAF unplugged, which it should not. I'm staying true to my goal. A lot of you are gonna think this is dumb. It is dumb. Go ahead and call me out. I don't really care. I wanna drive the car today. I'm gonna drive it more than 10 inches. I'm gonna put the wheels on it. We need to put on this little steering thingy-bobber. This connects the rack to the column so we can steer the car. And then I'm gonna drive it with the MAF unplugged because it runs way better with the MAF unplugged. I'm gonna drive it from here and outside and then back in, just to say I drove it. I've put hundreds of hours into work into this thing, and I don't feel like swapping the intake manifold right now, especially because I do not have one right now. Brand new from the dealer, $97. Actually, not from the dealer, from HondaPartsNow.com. Look at that, $96.65. That's a good deal. All right, well, hopefully the tranny works. High probability that it will not move, but that's okay. We got a problem, boys. clutch is not disengaging the transmission at all. Feels fine. It's bled out fine. But as you saw, it won't go into gear when the engine's running. Turn the engine off, put it in first gear, start it up with the clutch in, and she wants to go through the door. A day full of problems. I love it. It's probably just an improperly bled clutch is what it feels like, but the pedal feels perfectly fine to me. And it's moving just fine, it looks like. Interesting. Turns out we are not going on the first drive today or tomorrow, or probably for a little bit, because we have a massive clutch problem. Trans shifts just fine, car's off. Fire up the car, try to put it in gear with the clutch in, will not go in gear. Car starts lurching forward. Turn the car off, put it in gear, goes in gear just fine. Fired up, the car wants to run all the way through the front of the shop with the clutch in. Clutch pedal, or the clutch fork is moving properly with the pedal pressure. Pedal pressure feels fine. So I'm thinking somehow in the wreck, when it broke all the motor mounts and busted the tranny case and all that, it probably either destroyed the clutch, which it looked fine. I never even pulled it apart, which is very, very stupid on my part. Clutch looked fine, and the tranny went onto the motor just fine. So I feel like it was aligned properly, but it's pretty damn obvious to me that we're having a massive clutch problem. Thankfully, it's a front-wheel drive car. Thankfully, electric power steering, so there's no power steering fluid to deal with. Thankfully, there's no like rear drive, no drive line, no nothing like that. Being that I have to do a clutch and an intake manifold, I'm probably just gonna drop the whole motor and trans back out of the car, which on this car, if I'm being completely honest, I could probably do in an hour. So that's gonna be a wrap for today. Pretty shitty. We're getting very, very close. Fix the intake manifold or replace it, replace or fix the clutch, and then we should be able to go on the first drive. So as soon as I can get some parts in the mail, we'll be golden. Hope you guys enjoyed today's wild ride of events on the Type R. Peace out, my friends, and I'll see you tomorrow or the next video.